Hello and welcome to a new video in our continued journey of trying to master geometry. And once again, our today's agenda is going to be working with parallelograms, congruence, and a couple of more theorems related to these, especially the midpoint theorem. But before we move into those agendas, let us revise what we have done, a very quick revision and a warm up of what we have done in the previous session, so that moving into these future steps is slightly easier. So we looked at what a parallelogram is. This is a typical example of a parallelogram. Say A, B, C and D, where AB is parallel to CD and AC is parallel to BD. So this information is given to me in the very definition. AB parallel to CD and AC is parallel to BD. This was our starting point, and then we proved a lot of things. We proved that the opposite angles are equal to each other. So angle A is going to be equal to angle D, and angle C is going to be equal to angle B. And hit pause now and maybe very quickly try and prove this for yourself, because that is the kind of thinking we want to develop, a problem solving attitude, asking why kind of an approach. So ask yourself why, because we have already done it once, but maybe you need to do it for yourself also. So hit pause and prove that angle A is going to be equal to angle D and angle C is equal to angle B. If you can't prove it, maybe go back to the previous session and go through the proofs. This one is very easy, so I'm not going to prove it again, but maybe next couple of ones we can prove very quickly. The next piece of information we looked at was that the diagonal AD will divide the parallelogram into two congruent triangles. That means this diagonal AD, triangles ACD and triangle DBA are going to be congruent to each other. Once again, hit pause and try and prove it for yourself. I will just do it here very quickly once, just to get the process of proving started. This is the parallelogram and I want to prove these two triangles are congruent to each other. This angle is equal to this angle. Why? Two lines are parallel and these are alternate interior angles. Two lines are parallel and these are alternate interior angles. So they are equal to each other. Similarly, this angle is equal to this angle, and this side is common to both of these triangles. So you have angle side angle as equal in two triangles. That means this triangle is congruent to this triangle. So A, B, C and D. I can see that C corresponds to B, A corresponds to D and D corresponds to A. This triangle can be moved over and it will completely cover triangle ABD. So this is an example of how we derived all of these results that we are talking about. But in each case, do hit pause and try and prove it for yourself quickly. It should happen fairly quickly because you've gone through it once. In case it is difficult, stay with the idea till you are comfortable with it, proving it back and forth. Then we also looked at that if I think of two diagonals of a parallelogram and let's say they meet at point O, I also proved that the point O works as a bisector for both the diagonals. That means AO is going to be equal to OD and CO is going to be equal to OB. How will I prove that? If I were to do it and very quickly, I will think of triangles AOC and triangle BOD. Now if I think of these two triangles, this angle is going to be equal to this angle because this is a transversal and these are alternate interior angles. The detailed proofs we have already looked at by naming and everything. I'm just looking for a quick recap. So this angle is equal to this angle. Similarly, this angle is going to be equal to this angle. Alternate interior angles of this transversal. So I have two angles which are equal. In a parallelogram, the opposite sides are equal to each other. So this side is equal to this. So I have angle side angle once again, proving these two triangles to be congruent, and that means AO is going to be equal to OD because these are the corresponding sides of the triangle. Remember, there is a flip involved here. This corresponds to that. That means you will move it around. That means AO will finally correspond with DO. That means they are equal to each other. And that means point O is the bisector, because if they are equal, they are half of the whole thing. That means point O is dividing that diagonal into two equal parts. So I hope we are getting warmed up a little. So this is what we did at the end of the previous session. We wanted to prove that in a rhombus, first of all, in a rhombus, obviously it is a parallelogram and all the four sides are equal to each other. Not in the figure drawn by me, but conceptually all the four sides are equal to each other. And we wanted to prove that the diagonals intersect each other at 90 degree. And remember, because rhombus is a parallelogram, whatever properties I have worked out about the parallelogram, I can use in this story. So for example, if this is named A, B, C, D and once again O, I know this time AO is equal to OD. This is equal to this. My job is to prove that this particular angle COD is 90 degrees. So how do I go about doing that? So let me think of triangles AOC and triangles DOC. In that case, first of all, this side CO is common to both the triangles. This side is equal to this side. That means in triangle, if I am talking about triangle AOC, side AC, and when I am talking about triangle DOC, side CD are equal to each other. So I notice that in these two triangles, all three sides are equal to each other because AO is also equal to OD because I know O is the middle point of the diagonal. That means these two triangles are congruent to each other. That means this angle is equal to this angle because you will fold these two triangles over on top of each other. This angle is equal to this angle. That means if this is x, this is also x. This is all on a straight line. That means x plus x is equal to 180 degrees. That means 2x is equal to 180 degrees and x is equal to 90 degrees. And hence proven that when I am talking about a rhombus, the diagonals intersect each other at 90 degrees. Not in every parallelogram, in the case of a rhombus, because remember, these two sides being equal was an important part of the proof process just right now. Now, because it is true for a rhombus, this will also work for a square. Now, this is a proof that we did not look at earlier. That if I give you a square has all four sides as equal. Not only that, one of the angles is 90 degree. In fact, if one of the angles is 90 degree, all angles are going to be 90 degrees. I can prove that very, very quickly. Think of these two lines as parallels and this as the transversal. The sum of the internal angles is going to be 180. So if this is 90, this is also going to be 90. The same process you can keep repeating and all of them will turn out to be 90 degrees. Or at this point you could have said this angle is equal to this angle because this is also a parallelogram. So this will also be 90 degrees and opposite of this is also going to be 90 degrees. So this is the easy part. But once again, that the diagonals in a square intersect each other at 90 degrees. Why? One of the easiest way of saying so would be that it is true for a rhombus. A square is a rhombus and therefore it will be true for a square also. Or once again, you could have proved it using the same process as you did earlier, that you know it is a parallelogram. That means this side is equal to this side. This is a common side. This is equal to this. These two triangles are congruent to each other. That means this angle is equal to this angle. The sum was 180 and again it is 90 degrees. So pretty much the same process, and now you know that in a square, the diagonals not only bisect each other, they bisect each other at 90 degrees. They bisect each other simply because they do so in all parallelograms, and they intersect at 90 degrees because of the properties of the rhombus or square if you want to call it. So hopefully by now we are getting a little more fluent as well as familiar with the process of thinking that is involved in doing such problems. So now I want to take the same process and I want to apply it to a rectangle. So a rectangle is given to me A, B, C, D, and the first thing that I want to prove or derive is that the diagonals AD and CB are equal to each other. AD is equal to CB. So this is what I want to prove. Because I know it is a rectangle, I already know that this side is equal to this side and this side is equal to this side. I also know one of the angles is 90 degrees. Once again, I can very quickly prove that all the angles are 90 degrees, just the way we did in the case of a square. So I know this angle is angle CAB is 90 degrees, and angle ABD, this angle is also 90 degrees. So I have that information also. I want to prove that AD is equal to CB, and by now this process should be fairly familiar. That means the idea should already be there that I'm going to use congruence to prove this. That means I want to think of two triangles now where CB and AD are sides. So let me think of triangle ACB and triangle ADB, and I'm gonna draw it out separately, and that is for beginners basically. ACB and ADB. ACB, ADB. As we move ahead in the story, we will not need to draw it out separately and work like this. We'll be able to see it in the same diagram. But for the sake of clarity, and especially in the beginning process, it is important to be very, very clear. So I know I'm thinking of these two triangles. AB is common to both of them. So this is equal to this. I also see, because it is a rectangle, AC is equal to BD already. So I know this is equal to this. That means two sides are equal to each other so far. This is 90 degrees, and I know this is also 90 degrees. Angle A is 90 degrees, angle B is also 90 degrees. That means these two triangles are congruent to each other. That means all corresponding parts are going to be equal to each other. And CB is going to correspond with AD. That means CB is going to be equal to AD, and therefore proven that in a rectangle, the diagonals are equal to each other. So I hope we are getting more and more comfortable and familiar with this process of proving, because let's take this process further, and each time you will see the previous result is used to derive even more things. So keeping in the same vein, now let me think of a square ABCD. That means all the sides are equal to each other. AC is equal to CD is equal to DB is equal to AB. Now let me draw a parallelogram between A and D and C and B, and they intersect at point O. Because a square is a parallelogram, whatever I have proved about the parallelogram will apply in this case. That means AO is going to be equal to OD. AO is going to be equal to OD. Why? Because the diagonals of a parallelogram bisect each other. A square is a parallelogram, so the diagonals will be bisected at point O. Not only that, I also know CO is going to be equal to OB, but let me mark it in a second. I also know that the diagonals are going to be equal to each other. Why is that? Because a square is a rectangle. We just proved for a rectangle that the diagonals are equal to each other. A square is a rectangle. That means whatever works for a rectangle will also work for a square. That means even in the case of a square, the diagonals are going to be equal to each other. Or you can run the same proof again and you will get the same result, that AD is equal to CB. Now once again, CO is half of the diagonal CB. You are saying that CB is equal to AD. That means half of this diagonal is going to be half of this diagonal. That means this point is equal, that means CO is equal to AO. And just me saying this is not enough. You must hit pause or basically work out the process for yourself of exactly why this is happening. CO is half of CB. CB is equal to AD. That means half of CO is going to be half of AD. That means half of CB is going to be half of AD. That means CO is going to be AO. And CO is equal to OB. So I know all of these segments are going to be equal to each other. And now I want to prove that in case of a square, these two angles created by the diagonal are equal to each other, or that the diagonal drawn across is an angle bisector. An angle bisector is something which bisects the angle into two equal parts. So overall this was 60 degrees. The two parts would be 30 degrees and 30 degrees each. So my agenda now is to prove that the diagonal is an angle bisector, but I am using whatever theory I have picked up earlier and to make my life easy. So now how do I go about proving that? I also know because a square is a rhombus, the diagonals will intersect each other at 90 degrees. So all of these angles are going to be 90 degrees. Now think about this for a second. These two sides of a triangle, triangle AOB, these two sides are equal to each other. That means the opposite angles are also going to be equal to each other. So this angle is going to be equal to this angle. So name it for a minute. If this is angle 1, this is also going to be angle 1. And let me call it angle 2 for a minute. Now very quickly let me think of triangle COA and triangles AOB. They are congruent to each other. Why? The two sides are equal for these two triangles and the third side is also equal. So S congruence kicks in. So these two triangles are congruent to each other. That means if you rotate it, move it here, this angle will also be equal to angle 1. And in this particular triangle, you are saying these two sides are equal. That means the opposing angles are going to be equal to each other. A property that we have seen earlier in when we were discussing congruence, or a very simple property of isosceles triangle. So this angle is going to be equal to this angle. That means angle 1 is equal to angle 2 and hence proven that this angle is equal to this angle. So to prove this, I used all the theorems that I have learned earlier, that the diagonals of a parallelogram bisect each other, that in case of a square or a rhombus, the diagonals bisect each other at 90 degrees, that in a square all sides are equal, because a square is a rectangle, the diagonals are equal to each other, and so on and so forth. And now I have a new theorem that if I am thinking of a square, the diagonal is an angle bisector, and this will work everywhere. And in that case what it means is this is going to be 45 degrees and this is going to be 45 degrees. Another way of doing this very quickly was, this is 90 degrees, that means the sum of these two angles is going to be 90 degrees, because the total in a triangle is 180 degrees and these two were equal. So A plus A is 90, A would have been 45 degrees, and the same theory would have worked for this also. This also comes out as 45 degrees. So very many ways of going about it. We just want to work with the process of thinking with these geometrical ideas. That is our main aim.